Okay, now we're going to go ahead and modify the page students create HTML. Go into the code behind. What we're going to do is make some changes here to stop the possibility of maybe a hacker trying to get in and post or over post values to our student that don't actually exist. They can actually hide through Fiddler or any of the various tools for HTML a mechanism to actually send to our code behind a hidden field effectively and put HTML or JavaScript code within that field that might run then when it's displayed or sent to the server. So here's how we stop that from happening. We're going to go ahead and change this to use the try update model async request, which basically verifies that the values being sent exist in the actual model definition. There's a couple ways of actually protecting against this. This is just one of the simpler ways. Go ahead and replace the following code with the code you see here. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and pause and add this code. What this does is checks or tries to update the student or an empty student with the following values that were sent by the update, or excuse me, in this case, the create, and make sure that they actually match the model student. And if they do, it's successful. If not, it will return a null. Okay, next we're going to go in and edit our edit page. And we're going to go ahead and replace our first or default async to find async. Again, we discussed that earlier. It will actually stop it from going back to the database if a local object exists with the data. So let's go ahead and replace that. And notice it's using find async. And then scroll down here. And we're going to do the same thing and replace that with a find async as well. Okay, so go ahead and again replace that code, pause, and type it out. And then go down here, again pause, and type this out. Okay, my apologies. I missed some code up here on our unpost async. We actually need to pass it the integer. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and run it and test our code. First thing I'm going to do is go to students and create a new student just as a test. Put in today's date or a date and a time. Oops, sorry. Create, and you can actually see Shane Hamilton is now there, and then we can go and edit Shane Hamilton, and let's see if we change the time and save. Worked perfectly. Next, we're going to actually modify the delete page. Go ahead and stop your project. Go to the delete page. Code behind for the delete page. Okay, I'm going to go through this fairly quick. We're going to add a custom error message in the event that the save fails. Oops, hang on error. We're going to go ahead and determine whether or not we get an error on save. Remove no tracking. and then create the custom error. Go ahead and pause after each one of these changes, type out the change before we move forward. Now, the reason this is necessary is you can often have problems with your connectivity on your internet or mobile data, and this provides a mechanism to show you an error that it didn't actually complete delete in the event that it failed for any reason. Let's go ahead and make one more small change. Actually, this is a pretty big change. Our on-post async is going to be changed pretty significantly. Okay, let's go ahead and make some changes to the latter part of our on-post async call. Just go ahead and type this out exactly as you see it. Go ahead and pause here and complete all the code. What this code does is actually deletes the entity value of the student as a deleted state, and then tries to update the database and awaits to verify that the database is updated before continuing, otherwise returns an error. Finally, we need to delete the actual HTML page. So go ahead and go over here, open up the default.cs HTML file. And then go ahead and add the following command. Oops, nope, sorry, not that command. This command, or HTML, which will be a holder for the error message in the event that the delete process is not able to update the underlying database with the delete request. Now we can actually test. Go to students, find a record you want to delete. Doesn't matter who. Just delete the record, delete, and notice that the record is no longer there. Okay, that's it for editing our Razor pages.